Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So Republicans and even some corporate Democrats are all up in arms about Biden's proposed climate policies. But the study that Republicans are citing to try to keep their big oil donors happy was actually written by those same big oil donors. So here's what Republicans are alleging and what was in this so-called report, or in part. They claim that Biden's climate policies will kill 18,000 jobs in Wyoming and cause a loss of funding for education, infrastructure, and healthcare. So that specifically is being cited by Republican Liz Cheney, who's one of the representatives for that state. But as I mentioned, this analysis was conducted by a group called the Western Energy Alliance. It's a company that represents 200 oil and gas companies. So what do you think that report was going to say? Western Energy Alliance actually was the one who proposed this analysis to the state officials, which, by the way, cost taxpayers $114,000 to generate. They then took part in the development and drafting of this bogus analysis. And Western Energy Alliance hired an economics professor named Tim Considine to author this analysis. While he was conducting the study, Western Energy worked as part of a team to review the report before it was released. So you have big oil and big gas literally looking over the shoulder of someone authoring the study. And in fact, they not only did that, but a spokesperson for the company, for this Western Energy Alliance, a man named Aaron Johnson, he had Considine change his methodology to reflect a larger burden on Alaska's economy. So he had him change the way he analyzed all of the data to show that it would impact Alaska's economy more so, to try to make it look worse. And when the report was complete, Western Energy Alliance didn't stop there. They then spent $18,000 out of their own pocket to publicize the report, to gin up public opposition to changing the way we generate energy in this country. The excuse they're using, they're saying, well, this isn't a conflict of interest. We didn't pay for the report. So do Republican officials in Wyoming know that this report is largely a bunch of BS that was fabricated by big oil and gas? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fact. In fact, the study was first proposed by Eli Bebout. He is a former Republican lawmaker and the president of Nucor Oil and Gas. Let that settle in for a moment. And the governor of Wyoming, Mark Gordon, was the one who greenlit the project when he was approached by Western Energy Alliance in early 2020, when they first approached him about doing this. And as for Republican lawmakers in the state, I'm sure it doesn't hurt that Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, so the state senator, received nearly $600,000 from the oil and gas industry between 2015 and 2020. In fact, they were his largest donor. And this isn't the only time that this Considine guy has shilled for big oil and gas. So he's not innocent in this whole thing. He wasn't just duped by these people. He apparently has a quite lengthy history of doing their literal dirty work for them. Considine has been referred to as, quote, the energy industry's go-to academic for highlighting the positives and not the negatives of fossil fuel development. And he has been called upon to testify as an expert witness for Murray Energy when that coal company was being sued by the Environmental Protection Agency. He was also involved in research for the coal company called Cloud Peak Energy. But this is what's done all the time. They go out and they find scientists and doctors who will say what they want. Big Tobacco did the same thing. They commissioned reports by scientists and doctors who they knew would be favorable to their business interests. Dow, other GMO companies did the same thing, and they continue to do so. And the list goes on and on. Unfortunately, there's always some academic somewhere in the United States or even outside of the US who's willing to sell their soul for the right price. So, but in addition to these blatant conflicts of interest, Considine's report doesn't even appear to be based in reality, because other experts who work for environmental groups estimate that he exaggerated the economic impacts by 70 to 85%. Another environmental group said that the government could easily offset any state losses by increasing the cost to drill on public lands. And the one thing that needs to be discussed with greater frequency, in my opinion, is the number of new jobs that will be created with a green energy push. This is something that the Democrats have done a horrible job on. And people can feel good about earning a living while helping to save the planet. Because let's face it, if the world becomes uninhabitable because we failed to do what's necessary, none of this is going to matter. But we need Democrats out there pushing this and talking about the job creation. We need Biden out there talking about the job creation and the training that they're going to provide to people so that they can transition from archaic coal and gas jobs to new green energy. And it's just unbelievable to me that Republican officials are so willing to sell out their children's, their grandchildren's, and great-grandchildren's futures. Seriously, how greedy can they possibly be? It's very disturbing that all they care about right now is money. Money in their pockets, money to get reelected, to hell with future generations. It's unbelievable. Anyway, guys, as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.